Hey guys, welcome back to Biscuits Total War. Now, today's episode is going to be something slightly different. I haven't done one of these videos, I don't think, in a very long time. It's going to be a 1 versus 1, but it's not going to be on the grassy flatlands. It's going to be on the Macedonian map. And the reason being, there's been a few subscribers who have left a little comment saying they'd like to see something slightly different. And what I wanted to do was just to give you a slight bit of diversity and something slightly different to the channel. And also it gives me a good excuse to really show off this vegetation mod, so you can see all the cool little graphics, and you can see all the little cool vegetation, which normally you won't be able to see on the standard vanilla Rome Total War, because it doesn't have all these cool kind of trees and bushes and bits and pieces like that. But anyway, also by doing a standard little 1 versus 1 battle, I can also talk about some other random bits and pieces, such as reason why I don't tend to put these videos up online. Now, usually the battles that I put up tend to be 31k, and the reason being, when I play Rome Total War, I like to have big kind of epic style battles. I don't really like skirmish battles. That's why you won't tend to see me doing CWB rules, because when you do CWB against clan members, it tends to be 8 cav units, 8 archers, and maybe 3 or 4 infantry units, and it's basically who can out micromanage one another and who can out skirmish one another, which is absolutely fine, but it's not really the way I like to play. I get kind of bored of that and I lose patience, and I just basically want to attack. So that's why I like 31k. It plays to the game style that I enjoy, and it also involves a lot of teamwork. I'm sure CWB does, and it tends, I'd say, for the first 3 or 4 years of playing Rome Total War, I solely only played CWB rules, because it is quite a balanced build, balanced army. But if you tend to play against clan members, they tend to be really heavy on the old skirmish builds, and that's what I don't like doing. And sometimes if I don't play clan members, often, as bad as it sounds, a lot of people tend to rage quit. They either hill camp, or they break rules, or they just basically spend ages setting up, and then by the time we start, they just magically disappear. And I tend to find that when I'm playing more experienced players or people that I actually know, I tend to get a better quality battle at the end of the day. And that's primarily the reason why I like playing 31k. Anyway, back to this battle. So I believe the rules are CWB. I could be mistaken, but that is what I've decided to do today. I've built a CWB army. Now, what I've done, I've gone for 1, 2, 3, 4 companion cav. And the reason why I've done that is I was going up against the Seleucids. Now, the Seleucids, I'm pretty sure would bring cataphracts, and I'm pretty sure those cataphracts would be able to beat me. I've also brought some light lancers. Now, light lancers, I reckon, are probably one of the most underused and the most unknown units. When I say unknown, I mean people don't tend to capitalize on them. They've got a great strike when it comes to charges, and they've got really good speed, and they're great at chasing down units and chasing down archers. Now, because I'm going up against the Seleucids, I know that the Seleucids can't field any long range archers, so what I've decided to do is to bring a few crescent archers and then a sprinkling of standard archers. I think there's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 archers I brought, and then the rest I brought 5 or 4 royal pikemen, and these royal pikemen I believe are fairly well upgraded. Now, I know when it comes to a 1-to-1 fight on the grassy flatlands, my Macedonian build should be able to beat the Seleucids, but the problem about playing on maps which aren't the grassy flatlands is that the enemy often like to hill camp. Now, it's a valid tactic, hill camping, but it can be really annoying, especially when you've done the maths of your unit and you know that you should be able to beat a certain unit, but because they've got a long pike like these units, it's near impossible to sometimes beat them, because you've got to get right up to them before you can actually start engaging on them. And by the time you've got there, they've also got a few cheeky kills on you, so it means you've got to play a bit reserve. You've got to play quite methodical to try and beat these types of builds. But let's have a look at the enemy. Now, the guy's called Total Warrior. I think he's relatively new to Rome Total War, and if he is new to Rome Total War, and if he is watching this, thank you so much for taking part. I really enjoyed the battle, and he was a really good sportsman when it came to playing this game. Although, yes, technically you could say he's hill camping. At the end of the day, there's loads of hills in this map, so it's hard to say if somebody's hill camping or not. I don't really think he is technically hill camping because his units, you know, he's not right at the top here. You know, he's come down slightly. Anyway, so let's have a look at what he's brought. I'll pause it for 2 seconds because I've just been talking over this while the action started. He's brought 1 silver shield pikeman, 2 silver shield pikemen, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then he's brought 1, 2, 3, 4 silver shield legionaries, and then he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 archers. He's also then got a couple of cataphracts. He's got a general unit and a companion cav. So he's gone for a really nice kind of balanced build at the end of the day. But because those units that he's picked are quite expensive, it means that he probably hasn't got too many upgrades because all of his units do cost quite a bit. So what he's done, I had my archers, and my archers were shooting his units here because my Cretan archers had slight range on him. So he charged the one of his companion cav, but unfortunately because he's done that, I've managed to basically surround him with my companion cav and take him out. Now, I know of my archers, because I've got the range, I should be able to shoot him before he can shoot me. But what he should really do, in the nicest possible way, is probably keep his archers up on the high ground, because at least then he should be in a similar range to my Cretans if he stays on the high ground. Also, I know of my Cretan archers, I don't need to go around the back and shoot these pike units. Because these pike units have got relatively small shields, I can just shoot them square one and do quite a lot of damage. If you have a look at this unit here, it's down to 61, that was 59, that one's 61, 52, 60 and 54. So doing quite a bit of damage, as you can see on the pike units, and I'm also doing quite a lot of damage on the archers. So I'm going to ignore these testudo units because there's no point shooting them. I might as well just gun for these units at the top here. And now what he's going to do is going to make a tactical withdrawal back up onto the high ground here. So it's going to make it harder for me. Now, the reason why I've come this way, if you have a look at the terrain of the map, yes, he's on a nice kind of high ground up here, but this high ground is easier to get up to opposed to getting up on this high ground. This high ground is much steeper, so I've gone for the easiest route, which is down here. Now what I need to try and do is if I can run my guys up here, avoid these testudo units, and just basically try and get them onto the same height ground of these pikes, I should be doing quite well. So that's exactly what I'm going to try and do. I want to try and avoid these testudo units. I want to try and get them around here. But what's happened is the testudo unit's now coming towards me. I have to put my guys down, my pikes down. Now notice that these testudo units, they're not in guard mode. And the reason why I can tell they're not in guard mode is because once the testudo has touched my pike unit, the testudo has now been opened. So what I need to try and do is get my cav around the back here and try and do Alexander the Great and do a nice little hammer and anvil strike on the back of these units. Now what he should have done, he should have had these units closer to support them, but what he's done is left these guys isolated, and because they're isolated I can now go in for a cav strike. Now what I have done there, but slightly bit too slow, I lifted up those pikes. A little bit of a tip for you guys if you're watching this: if you have cav units and you charge them through your pikes, in other words, if I had pikes behind where my general is and charged them straight through the pikes and the pikes were down, I'd actually cause a lot of injury on my own units. But if I lift up my pikes, I could run my cav straight through the pikes without causing too much damage. So now that these testudo units, the silver shield legionaries, have now been killed, what I need to do now is push my royal pikemen up here and try and get them onto the same ground as these pike units. Now again, when it comes to this battle, I should be able to do quite nicely. Although our pikes are the same length and we're now fighting pretty much on the same level ground, I've now got upgrades in my units opposed to him. He hasn't got any upgrades on these pike units apart from maybe one or two small upgrades, and because of that I should be able to beat him. But what I'm going to do here, I'm going to push my pikes a bit closer, and then I'm going to get all of my archers and just gun them right into these cav units here. And then what he's going to do is now going to go into a cav strike on my units. But what I'm able to do is encircle them. Once I've encircled them, I've now dropped into my alt attack, and to do the alt attack, what I've done, I've select my cavalry unit, press the alt key, and then click attack. And that means that what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to attack the cav unit with my sword opposed to my lance, and that will give me extra attacking stats when it comes to taking on these units. So now that they've lost their cav units, the only thing they've got left is a couple of units here which have now pulled back, this infantry unit and this cataphract unit. I'm now going to go in with my royal pikemen, get my cav around the back here, get my archers around the side here, and gun into these units and try and cause as much damage as I possibly can. I'm going to go in with a nice little cav strike here, try and kill some of these archers. These archers are now going to rout. I'm going to pull back my cav, and now in comes my pike unit. My pike unit should be able to win this. My pikes are just as long as the enemy, but my guys have got a slightly better upgrade. It means I can just push forward a bit aggressively, and whilst I'm pushing forward, I'm able to kill the enemy and also able to hold off their pikes. Because if you have a look at my royal pikemen, they've got nice big shields opposed to these guys who've got the smaller shields. And in we go, in with a nice little hammer and anvil strike right into the back of these units here. That's caused 1-2 units here to rout. Now normally if I was playing against most players, especially if it's a guy I didn't know, often at this stage the enemy would tend to either rage quit, leave the game, or just basically quit, and I'd have to then finish off the enemy by killing all the AI units. So well played here for Total Warrior for staying in the thick of it and making this a good game at the end of the day. I'm now going to come with a nice little cav strike right into the back of this last unit here, and here we go, they're all dead. Charges straight into my cav, all that damage done, and that's pretty much it. The only thing they've got left now is the general unit, and the general unit is now ran off the battlefield to fight another day. He's withdrawn that unit here. These guys are now going to stay in the battle. Got the archer unit here and this last silver shield legionary, but they're not going to be able to do too much damage to me because the general's now left the battlefield. These guys have been shot by their fire arrows. What have we got left here? We've got one pike unit here, one cataphract unit there. I'm going to triple speed this whilst we just finish off this battle. And guys, just really, I hope you have enjoyed this. As I say, I don't normally put up these battles on my channel, so it is slightly new to the channel, and I hope you have enjoyed it. It's just slightly different, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. And if you want to see more of these types of battles, hopefully I can try and rustle up some more for you. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for your patience. And guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, and please, if you do like the Rome Total War videos, go and check out some more videos on my channel. So let's have a look at the kill count. It's a heroic victory. Again, Total Warrior is relatively new, I'm guessing, to Rome Total War. So, you know, well played for the guy for staying in there. He got 140 kills, and I got in 804 kills. Most of my kills, I think, are going to be fairly evenly distributed between all of my units. It looks like the companion cav really got the most amount of kills, and I like to think they'd get the most amount of kills because they are the most expensive unit they had there. Light Lancers got in still about 64 kills. So again, Light Lancers, really good unit to bring when you bring in Macedonians, especially when it comes to 31k. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to let me know what you think about the video, and I'll catch you guys soon for the next Roman Total War video on Biscuits Total War. Bye now.